Ryder.
Yo, what's going on? How you doing?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Ah, shit, I'm alright. You good?
Just chilling, another day in paradise.
Oh, hell yeah. What you got going on?
Oh, nothing much. I'm up here at my terminal right now, still getting this new truck situated little by little,
How that shit going for you? You like it?
You know what? I like it. It's a little bit changed on what I'm used to, but I like it, it's a nice truck, it's a brand new 2021, so I really can't complain about it much, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah, that shit comfortable, ain't it?
You know what? I drove it for 800 miles just out of New Jersey right there. The main dealer is called Coopersburg, Pennsylvania, but where the truck was located was up in can't remember the exact name in New Jersey. That's their second dealer. And so we did the deal in Coopersburg, Pennsylvania, then drove back out over there to pick it up in New Jersey. And I drove it for about, I think it was just under 800 miles, back home here to Detroit. And for a bobtail ride, I'll tell you, man, it was a nice ride, like a Cadillac.
I believe it. I definitely believe it. You definitely shocked all of us when you showed the truck. I was like, oh shit. That was nothing I was expecting for you to get.
You know what? Everybody was asking me and thinking it was like a W900 and whatnot.
I guess because that's kind of like you psyched us out with the first one, and you was like, I'm about to pick this one up. So we all had that in our mind, like, he going to get another W9, or he going to get something like that. And then when you showed up with that, I was like, oh, man, he trying to save his money.
Definitely. Well, you know what? That W900, the first one, it was a done deal, right? That green W900, see, that was out of Kenworth in OKC in Oklahoma City. And, I had a buyer for the truck, for my truck Purple Rain, my T660.
Yeah.
And I had to end it all because when I went, I got approved for the truck. It was like, they had the truck up for like $197,000.
Yep.
And ended up saying $194 out the door. And so we went ahead and got, I told him, I said, I'll put $40,000 down and finance the rest. Well, we went ahead and got approved for the loan, and the interest rate came back at 6%, which is not bad, right?
Yeah.
And when we went ahead and started finalizing the paperwork a day before pickup date, and they sent it over through email, I started reading over the paperwork, and now you're talking about a 9% interest rate. Something ain't right.
Yep.
So I get in touch with my salesman, and he says, oh, I think it was an office mistake. You know what? It felt shady to me. So I'm like, as much as I want that truck, I don't even want it anymore, because you're not going to try to, get me with something thinking I'm not going to pay attention and expect me to spend $190,000 with you after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody asked me, why'd you go with a T680, or I had 5 of them before. I have a company. I have my own company.
Yep.
And, see, like this right here, these are some of my trailers right here, some dry vans.
Uh-huh.
There's the reefer up there, and there's my truck right there, the new one.
Yep.
And, this whole yard, this whole terminal is mine. It's a 10-acre property. These are all people who rent from me up here on my property. I have a shop on the other side of these trailers.
Yeah.
And, so like I said, I got a company and stuff like that, and I love the T660 that I had. It was, it's a different breed T660. I'm not going to say it was the nicest one out there, but it was a nice truck.
Of course.
And, so I had to let go of it. I'm out here, I'm on the road for 2-3 weeks at a time, right? I've had my fair share with long hoods. It's just, I got to get something comfortable, more road friendly, more, comfortable to me, easy to drive and try to make the job a little bit easier. Cause we're all out here, we're all fighting for the same damn thing. And it's already as hard as it could be out here. Right. So we got to try to make it a little bit easier.
Hell yeah. That's what people be forgetting, that shit. They all make the same amount of money. It ain't about the truck. A lot of people think like, oh, because he got a nice ass truck, he making more money than everybody else. And that's most of the time not the case. If anything, you just putting the money up and putting it where it's supposed to go. Not necessarily that you just getting the best rates in the world.
Yeah, that's true. And I've had that image happen before where, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, you must be making great money because, you know, I went from what the truck looked and I didn't just take baby steps. I just completely transformed my truck.
Yep.
And, you know, a lot of people said, oh, you must be making great money. And you know, to just go ahead and spend all this money, paint the frame, lights, stacks, and 1, 2, 3. Well, you know, I make money, but I'll tell you this much. I wish I would have took it step by step. That's for sure.
Fuck yeah. I bet
you know. You know, and like with this truck, you know, I financed this truck. I put $60,000 down on it and financed the rest of it, right? And it's kind of like taking baby steps. I got a payment once a month on it. I make that payment and call it a day, right?
Of course. Shit, ain't nothing wrong with that. So you said you're gonna register it this week coming up?
Yeah, I got well, you know, with this whole COVID thing that's going on, DMV's all jacked up and whatnot, so it's kind of tough getting into DMV. And I got an appointment on Wednesday, which would be the 15th of this month, to go ahead and get it registered and everything. And well, at least get the title switched and, you know, get it registered. And then I do all the plates online through what we call our Lansing DMV up there, and we get it done online. So the plates take nothing but a half hour, 45 minutes online, but it's trying to get into DMV ever since this COVID pandemic.
Bullshit is fucking up everything. Like I said,
tell me about it.
My shit straight out of New York. I'm still dealing with my shit, trying to renew my shit. You see?
I remember we talked about that one time. Yeah.
Still doing the same shit. Still trying to renew the shit.
That's crazy.
The fucking worst. I tell you that. It's the fucking worst.
Yeah, for sure. You know, that's like, I had, you know, that trailer, my reefer trailer, I bought it right before the pandemic broke out, right, out of Phoenix, Arizona. And I had a temp tag up until, I think, the 18th of May was when my temp tag expired. I was running, I kept running with, you know, with an expired temp tag on there because I really couldn't do nothing. I had an appointment booked on it. I just got plates on it last week, believe it or not. And I was running, I got pulled over when I was coming back up out of Washington and Idaho, and up there on 90, and I got pulled over up there, and he says, well, you got an expired temp tag on the back of that trailer. I said, well, you know what, officer? I said, it's coronavirus out here, man. I said, I ain't running illegal. I said, here's all my paperwork. You know, I bought this trailer. The pandemic broke out, and I can't even get this thing registered yet. And I'm not, you know, I said, I depend on this truck and this trailer to make money. So you tell me what you want me to do. I'll park it, but you provide for my family.
Yeah.
You know. He let me slide. You know, I have all the paperwork showing that I did make an appointment, you know what I mean, with the DMV out here to go ahead and get it registered. So, you know, he let me slide. Well, he ended up doing a full inspection on it. And I said, I'm like, dude, this is a brand new trailer. I said, I don't know what you're wasting your time for.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, he wanted to do it, and it looks better for me under my company name, right? That I got a clean inspection, so I couldn't even be mad at it. I didn't like the waste of time, but I like the fact that I got a clean inspection.
Yep, you got it out the way. That's all that matters.
That's for sure.
What kind of work you gonna be doing with the new truck? Same thing?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. You know, I don't do nothing dedicated up in my company. You know, I got, you know, at one point I was up to 15 trucks, but ever since work slowed down a little bit, I parked some and I sold a few. You know what I mean? To some people that wanted to pay some money on them, right? And you know, a lot of all my work is OTR. We do all 48 states. And me and all my drivers. So I currently got 8 trucks that are running the highway right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, and they're split between dry van and reefer. So I do both. I do dry freight and refrigerated. And I myself do refrigerated. I don't pull anything else besides the reefer. But you know, my plans are just to stick to doing what I usually do and try to, you know, grow the business and try to make the best out of what's going on with today's world. You know, a lot of people will say, you know, there's not much money out there, and you know, there's a, you know, I respect everybody out there fighting for the rates and doing what they're doing, but it's like, as hard as we're trying to fight for them, nobody wants to really hear us out on what we got to say.
Yep.
And I'm definitely not one to support cheap freight. But I mean, I look at it from my situation, what I got going on, right? See, I got my own company. I'm not leased on to anybody.
Yeah.
So everything that I pull is direct to me. I lose 1% to a factoring company. That's it, right? So, factoring companies, they tell you if you bill this much a month, you lose 3%. If you lose, depends on how much you're billing a month, right?
Yeah.
So, I bill enough to where I only lose 1% of my load, my money to the factoring company. And that's the only thing I lose. Besides that, the rest of it is mine. And then whatever's left is the driver's fuel, insurance, and maintenance, and 1, 2, 3. Well, for me, I don't lose a percentage. I do all my own maintenance in-house here at my shop from A to Z. There's nothing that I do on the road. I don't spend money at shops. The only thing I do is parts, right? I get good fuel discounts. And my drivers are pretty well paid. They've gone down in pay rate. We were paying 60 cents a mile at one point. And, with COVID and when the rates started dropping, we kind of had to cut down on the rates, but we didn't make a drastic cut. We cut them down to 53 cents per mile. And, they're still averaging really good miles out there and doing what they do, right? So I don't mind really, you'll never find me booking an 80 cent or 90 cent a mile run. That's for damn sure. You know what I mean? But I can afford $1.50, $1.60 mile an hour though, because I don't lose a percentage to it, Yeah, I got $1.53 to the load, but then I pay 53 cents of it to my driver, and then I got a fuel cost and whatnot. But all depends on your equipment, all depends on your fuel discounts, all depends on your insurance rates. You know what I mean? When you got a company with just a crappy Safer score, your insurance rates are going to be through the roof, right?
Yep.
Nobody's going to give you fuel discounts and whatnot, so you're going to be paid top dollar for everything.
Yep. Now I got a question for you. I got a couple questions for you. Well, one, a lot of people that I've been talking to, they trying to get a couple of trucks out there on the road. As of right now, with the rates cut down, do you feel that to be an owner-operator with 1 or 2 trucks and you don't drive neither of them, they just for drivers, that is still worth it, that you can still make profit with that?
I'll be honest with you. I always tell everybody, unless you don't have your own authority, today's the driver's market. This is where the drivers make money, right? Because they're guaranteed their money.
Yeah.
Now, as an owner, let's say Knight Rider bought a truck and didn't want nothing to do with it, didn't want to drive it, wants to put a driver in it. Brings it over to my company. Right off the rip, you lose 25%.
Yep.
Right? And then you got a fuel cost. And then you got driver pay.
Yep.
And with the rates, all depending, now, not everybody takes 25%. There's guys out there that'll take 30 and 35% from you, right? And some guys will tell you, all right, we'll take 10% from you, but really don't even give you what's on the rate con, to be honest, If the load pays 800, they'll go ahead and tell you, it pays 600 and we take 10% out of the 600. And I've seen it happen before, which I find is dirty. That's just, everybody's out here running their ass off for a reason. Doesn't mean you take advantage of them, right? Now, so I personally, I still support somebody buying some trucks and putting drivers in it, but do your research and try not to work for the big fish, because the big fish they're the ones that are trying to kill us, the little fish.
And at the end of the day, like they say, it sucks, but the game is to be sold, not taught at the end of the day. So if you don't know your business, honestly, with trucking, you ain't got no business out here if you don't know the business, because you're going to get jerked in so many goddamn ways. You know?
It's definitely not for everybody. It's trucking. My best friend that I grew up with my entire life, my dad was in trucking. I'm second generation, and back in the day when we were little kids, one of my best friends, he lived right across the street from me, would see the trucks pass by the house, drivers come by. He'd come up to the terminal with us, when my dad was doing his own thing. And he wanted to get into trucking for the longest. And he actually works for Prime. He started driving for Prime, got a CDL through Prime. was a driver for them for 1 year exactly before he went ahead and bought his own truck from their second-party truck sales. See, he didn't do a lease to purchase.
Yeah.
I don't support lease purchases.
Hell no.
Because they just burn a hole in your pocket, though. But what he did was Prime has their, like, when they buy new trucks, they take their trucks and sell them through a dealer called Pedigree Truck and Trailer.
Yeah.
He bought a truck through them and got it financed and stuck with Prime, though, and was pulling Prime freight. And he's on his way now to go ahead and pick up a second truck. He already paid the first one off, and he's doing good for himself, you know. So that's why I say you can, and he's putting a driver in that second truck, so you can do it, but you really gotta know where you're going and who you're working for.
Yeah.
You know, if you're considered a truck number at the end of the day, you shouldn't be working there.
100%. Now I got another question for you. Another one. To dig a little deeper with you. All right, now, if you got like 15 trucks or 10 trucks running, right? I was talking to somebody else, and I was like, okay, now the fuel bill, the maintenance bill, all of that shit adds up. I said, so how do you go about that? Do you play with your own money, or do you build credit and play with the bank's money? So with you coming from having a decent amount of trucks, do you pay for all of this out of your pocket, or do you do it through credit?
Well, the only thing I'll finance, the only thing that I have financed is that new truck.
Yeah.
But my trailers, my dry van trailers are lease trailers. I pay $300 a month per my dry vans, and they're brand spanking new 2020 trailers, right? And I've been with Star Leasing for a long time, and my dad's done business with them, so we get fairly good rates, right? But when it comes to the maintenance side, I do all of my maintenance on my own here in my shop. Well, as much as I can do. Now, when things break down on the road, you know, a lot of it is done through EFS checks and ComData checks, where money is forwarded from ComData or EFS to these guys, but then directed. It's when my fuel comes out, they deduct it on the spot with them. You know what I mean? So it's really not like I go get loans on them or I have a line of credit. But you know, like if a truck breaks down right now and blows a tire on the side of the road, I'm going to go ahead and send an EFS check to the repair shop or whoever does it. Now, on my bank, it's ComData. I use EFS. EFS draws out of my bank every 2 days. So within the second day of that com check being processed, it's already deducted out of my bank, right? So I'm the type of person, if I can't afford it right now, I shouldn't be messing with it.
Definitely. Now with fucking all them trucks running on the road at one time, a good week of running, what would you say an estimate of that you spend in fuel and expenses with all your trucks for a good week of running? Before profit or anything, what's going out?
Well, if you want to talk about just cost between payroll, driver, like I said, payroll, I always include a maintenance cost. I always include, even if they don't break down, I throw a maintenance cost in them, an insurance cost in them, and I factor out the year, you know, because your license plate is 12 months. I break that down and I split it up, you know. It's just a business mentality, so you know what you have to make, right? I probably spend between fuel and all that anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 on a weekly basis on that.
Exactly.
You know,